Happy New Year, Cancer! This is your January 2015 horoscope with me, Lada, from Astrolada.com, where you can find out in my birth chart calculator your ascendant sign and even moon sign, because I often use degrees, I mention degrees, and it's important for you to check at least the ascendant sign, because it's astrologically the start of your horoscope, it's the beginning of your horoscope, it's your physical body, what you encounter, tangible events that you encounter in your path in life. You need to know your time of birth as well. And also on my website Astrolada.com there is a 24 hours best psychic and astrologers that I have personally scouted from around the world, that I've observed for years their work, and I invited them to cooperate and partner with me. So these are people I highly respect with much more experience than me, the people I've learned from, or psychics that I've worked for years or I observed their work, and I personally can guarantee for their quality, you know. So you can always ask them for quick answers, you know, if you don't want a 1 hour horoscope, for example, with me. Anyway, what does January hold for you, Gemini? Sorry, Cancer. Oh, okay, let's see how you're starting the year, Cancers. And first of all, the important thing is that Mercury is going to be retrograde in your 8th house. And whenever planet goes retrograde, Mercury in particular, it requires you to put more effort into the areas of that house, to pay more attention to detail, to be more efficient, more productive, to reorganize your matters there in such a way that you receive better results. And 8th house is a financial house. And this process starts in January, it will complete by March, and by March you'll see the positive results of the hard work that you've been putting. You might have to revise some financial matters, especially matters that are connected to work with other people's finances or resources, or if you're working with someone in partnerships or business, just like I have my business partners with me, and my finances depend on them receiving phone calls, or, you know, them doing work. So this kind of, you know, finances, when they depend on other people somehow these are the type of finances, and these are the type of matters you'll be asked to, or if you're married, revising the budget and the finances and how you're dealing with your finances with your marriage partner or business partners. These are matters that will require more effort, more skill, more attention to details for you for the next 2 months. And even if things start to feel a bit more overpowering or more frustrating, some problems can crop up there. These are only so you can fix them, and sometimes you have to revise this problem a few times. Some financial matters might come to you in January and February a few times for you to revise them over and over, and you might feel like, oh, I'm not getting anywhere. But actually, by the end of this process, always a retrograde planet, when it's finished its retrograde movement, and you've put very hard work there, and you paid the proper attention to detail, then Mercury gives much more satisfying and longer-lasting positive results. So by the end of this process, from March, you might have improved chances for better financial budget, better way of how you manage your mutual finances with someone, improved opportunity for finances. For example, I had Mercury retrograde in my 8th house in October last year, 2014, and this is exactly when I reorganized the psychics, I changed a lot of things there, you know, I took the necessary steps to make sure that our business partnerships is more profitable for both of us. And we also revised our finances with my partner, because they were getting a bit tight, and how we're going to, you know, redistribute it and how we're going to work with those things. But definitely there's focus on such matters, and also it might be taxes and inheritances. You might have to be called to put your best effort and skills at solving, and rational, practical skills at dealing with such matters of inheritance or taxes. And do your best, try not to omit details, and you'll be very satisfied with results. So maybe find an accountant that is great, who can help you with the taxes, and deal on such financial matters. There money that you owe to the government, money that is owed to you, or maybe some loans. Some of you might be arranging and doing some work on you know, arranging some business to do with loans, to do with other people's money. People who work in the banking systems might be very busy. People who work with other people's resources. Maybe you're a talent scout for others, scout of whatever, you know, you work with other people's resources. Or maybe you work at Christie's and you sell other people's resources, you sell other people's possessions. Or maybe you work in banks where you're dealing with other people's money, or maybe you're a manager with other people's money. You know, anything which works with other people's resources or money can be, you might have some 2 very busy months in January and February. Some old projects might come up that need to be revised, but which eventually can take you on a much better level. Or maybe if you're expecting money from someone, from a partner again, this can be a period when you're arranging something for money with a partner in some way. Okay, so, and Venus is also there in your 8th house, helping in January, no longer in February. The whole process that I talked about continues through February as well. But in January, Venus will make sure that you get some pleasure out of those activities as well, that you feel more positive about them, because Venus, whatever it is, it makes a person enjoy the process more, and it can even bring you some gains from others, like a present or some return of money that you've invested from a partner, or maybe some from another person, or maybe a little bit of a luck from fate, something that you haven't worked for that you receive. It's a small, short influence, but you can still get something, present or reward, or something you didn't, you know, something of other people's resources. It's not necessarily always money. It can be a possession that you receive in some way, or that you can utilize and can be of benefit for you. You can benefit from it. Venus shows what we can benefit from. So doing such kind of activities will be good for you. Okay, let's see what else is happening. Mars goes into your 9th house. Whatever Mars is, this is where we have to be proactive, and where we can meet with some opposition also, where we can meet with some some fight we might have to deal with. And 9th house, and Mars goes into a 9th house once every 2.5 years and stays there for about a couple of months. So for you, part of January and February will be there. So what does it entail? Well, Mars in a water sign gives you more energy, because you're yourself water signs, and water signs support each other, and it gives you more energy in a less stressful, in a more natural, smooth flowing way. But at the same time, Mars has a more intense influence on the 9th house affairs. So there might be some power struggles with father figures or mentor figures, teachers, and people are foreigners as well. But you have to be also proactive in activities. If you're in some kind of business with foreigners, if you're in some kind of business of trading with foreign people, kind of a publishing or promotion is 9th house. You need to get active and get on the ball, because Mars there gives you the energy to organize, to get things done well. Also, higher education, get proactive in matters of pre-qualification and higher education. Also, travel. You might get, you know, get moving in regards to some matters of traveling in distant lands, or traveling abroad in some way. But also be careful a bit of accidents, because Mars can be a bit more accident prone. But usually it's kind of a gentle, energizing influence when Mars is in your 9th house. Okay, and also your opinions become strong. You might have some fight with someone about your belief systems in February, in January. Both months it's strong there. You might find yourself like clashing opinions about your belief system with another person. But that's where the energy is of Mars, and this is what you're supposed to do. Or you might find yourself proselytizing or preaching to others. This is what often happens. People who naturally all their life, they're born with Mars in the 9th house, they have very strong belief system, and they try to foist it onto others, or they try to, you know, or they're very enthusiastic about what they believe in. When Mars is in the 9th house, it helps you now for a transit for about a month and a half. If you believe in something, to speak it out to others, to convince others, to excite them with your beliefs. That's why it's great for promoters, for people even in sales, for people who are trying to do some advertisement, you know, self-promotion. Okay, but just be careful with some clashes when it comes to opinions with others, because you're a bit too forcing it down. let's see what interesting thing is happening. Another interesting thing. Saturn is not affecting your Cancers directly because it's in a different sign. It's definitely, you don't have Saturn influences unless you have some planets or ascendant or moon in Sagittarius, in Gemini, in Virgo, or in Pisces. Then you'll definitely feel it. But for Cancers, if your ascendant and the moon is in Cancers, Cancer is a free zone for this kind of activities, for Saturn activities, which is pressure, testing, hard work, kind of a sadness, or, you know, a bit the harder lesson, so to speak. Let me see. Oh, the Sun is in your 7th house, so there is attention on matters with other people and relationships as well. This is when it's a busy relationship month, especially till the 15th, 20th of January, because the Sun is in your 7th house of relationships. But it's, let's see, it's around the 4th, 5th, and 6th of January, so the beginning, the first week of January, Pluto joins the Sun. The Sun joins Pluto in your 7th house of relationships, so there might be some kind of a intense event happening in regards to another person, business partner or life partner or relationship partner, and one-to-one experience. It might be, on a positive scale, it might be transformative and very intense and even passionate. On the negative scale, it might be a power struggle, because Pluto is also the planet of domination, is a planet of intense sexual connection, but also planet of domination. So especially if it's a business relationship or you know, even normal relationships, it can create some more critical situation around that time, and some power struggles. But it's a very short-lived influence for 2-3 days, and it's resolved very quickly after that. Let's see what else is happening. I don't think I even have specific degrees for you to give you this month, because there is nothing, yes, you might still feel the square of Pluto and Uranus that I spoke about in December, that you might be feeling. Pluto and Uranus in January are from around 11 to around 14, 15 degrees. Basically, those of you who are born from around the 4th to around the 8th of July, they might be feeling the pressure of Uranus and Pluto. Their square is still quite tight. So there might be some, definitely December was stronger, but if you're born around those days, so if your ascendant or moon is from around 11 to 15 degrees, as I said, I'm born from around the 4th to around the 8th of July, it's more critical situations for you, Cancers. Life-changing, transformational, can take you on another level, totally different direction in awareness and consciousness. Certain things, certain old type of things are breaking down on you and are taken to a different level, but this can happen through a crisis situation. This can happen through either inner or outer turmoil, which makes you take totally cardinal decisions about your life. And it's to do with relationships. Pluto is in your 7th house. It's to do with career, social status, you know, your position in the world. So, but if you're born around those days only, otherwise, for all other Cancers, things seem to be more peaceful, more quiet. Focus on those matters, again, as I said, of 3rd house matters, of finances, arranging such business matters with others. And this is where your strength will, this is where your best results will come from. Thank you very much, Cancers, and I will see you next month.